Hi guys, Rahul this side on behalf of Revsportz and along with me is Somnath, and now we are reporting from the Kishore Bharati Kirangan. We actually came here to cover the Durand Cup match between East Bengal and CIFF, the second group stage fixture of East Bengal in this ongoing Durand Cup. But now here we got a shocking news in Indian football that Jamshedpur FC won't take part in the upcoming ISL, and also they won't participate in any senior football competition in Indian football. Of course, they're going to continue with their youth development or their youth setup or grassroots development, but they won't take part anymore in any senior competition in Indian football, and that's a shocking news for every Indian football fans. Yesterday only we all got a huge news for Indian football that Brazil national team is coming to India to play a friendly against Indian national team on 3rd of October. But today, contrastingly, we got a disappointing news for every Indian football fan, as Jamshedpur won't continue in the ISL anymore. Somnath, your first thoughts on this development?
I mean, this is a huge setback for Indian football as well. I mean, the name Jamshedpur with Indian football, this partnership is not new. We all know that back in the NFL days, in the I-League days, always a team from Jamshedpur used to participate in these kinds of league. And as Rahul said, the grassroots development, the Tata Football Academy is undoubtedly one of the best academies in India, and it had produced multiple talents over and over the years. Even now, if you see in teams like Jamshedpur FC, Mohammad Sana, Nikhil Barla, there are plenty of players who belong from this Tata Football Academy. They are everything. Their development has been from this very academy, and obviously Jamshedpur FC is an iconic club. Back in the 2017 season, they started their ISL journey, and from that day, obviously they have won the ISL under Owen Coyle, the ISL title. They have also participated in the AFC competition, so I think obviously it's a big blow, and for Jamshedpur, I think the players and all, I think it is going to be a huge blow for Indian football as well, because in these times where we are trying to fix what is wrong with Indian football, the investments and all, AIFF finally getting their broadcasters, other dealers for other things, and I think at this time our club like Jamshedpur FC is pulling off their participation in this year's ISL. I think it will leave a huge mark in Indian football as well.
Exactly, at a time where all the other clubs were gearing up for the upcoming ISL, and here it comes as a shocking news for every Indian football fans. Jamshedpur won't continue in the senior competition of Indian football. How everything unfolded, we'll look back at the timeline of this story. Actually, initially, after multiple meetings, it was decided that the next 4 years, the commercialization part of the Indian Super League will be taken care by all the clubs, all the ISL clubs. The AIFF finally accepted the club-led model of all the ISL clubs, and also all the ISL clubs had to pay a participation fee to AIFF. Well, all the clubs paid their participation fee, the first installment of the participation fee to All India Football Federation, but 2 clubs were yet to pay their participation fee. The 2 clubs were Jamshedpur FC and Interkashi, and AIFF then set a new deadline, that was today, that is 31st July. But what we got to know is that Interkashi have paid the first installment of their participation fee, but Jamshedpur is still waiting for the approval from their higher authority, and that's when we got to know is that Jamshedpur FC actually the football wing of Tata Football Group, and they have to wait for the approval from their higher authority, and that's when the higher authority of Tata Football Group or the Tata Steel Group have decided to pull away from the Indian football. The decision comes because they don't see any future with Indian football. Though they want to continue with the grassroots football or the youth setup, because Tata Football Academy is one of the most popular academy in Indian football, have gifted several talents to Indian national team as well. But now they have decided only to continue with their grassroots setup, but they won't take part in any senior competition in Indian football. So that's the end of the club Jamshedpur FC, who were the ISL League Shield champions as well. But now there is no Jamshedpur FC in the upcoming ISL. Whom do you see coming in as a replacement?
I mean, there are many candidates actually, and in Indian football it is a very funny place. I mean, there are backdoor entries, there are possibilities of backdoor entries. If we talk about the contenders, obviously 3 contenders, the most logical will be Shillong Lajong, as they finished second in the last I-League season, the Indian Football League season rather. Their participation could be the most logical. Obviously, if AIFF decides that Shillong Lajong will be the next team which will be promoted to ISL, I think that will be the most logical inclusion. Apart from that, the second team can be Mohammedan SC, because obviously after the relegation from the truncated ISL format, their secretary, their football secretary Wasim Wasim Akram a few days back was saying that they would write a letter to the AIFF requesting of cancelling the relegation and let Mohammedan play in the ISL. So there is a slightest of possibility, but I think right from the Mohammedan camp they are also mentally prepared to participate in the upcoming I League, so that they could in future obviously win it and get the promotion to the ISL. But obviously the third possibility or the third entry can be a backdoor entry from Churchill Brothers.
Exactly.
We all know that in the last year Churchill Brothers didn't play the I League, and they demanded that they are the moral winners of the I League 2 seasons back when Interkashi won the I League, and they will also have their pressure. They will pressurize the AIFF to include themselves in the ISL. So funny days obviously are ahead. Which of the teams will be getting the participation in this year's ISL? But we have to, I think, at least till a couple of days we have to mourn this loss for Indian football, because Jamshedpur FC, this setback is pretty high for Indian football.
Absolutely. Regarding the backdoor entry of Churchill Brothers, I think the drama will go on, but the future of Indian football actually looks gloomy with Jamshedpur FC and also a corporate house like Tata stepping away from Indian football. At first, Reliance was stepped away from Indian football last season, while AIFF decided to take charge of the Indian Super League, but now a corporate house like Tata also stepping away. But now the only remaining big corporate house are PSG with Mohun Bagan and JSW Bangalore FC. Hope they will continue with Indian football, and possibly they will bring back the golden days for Indian football, so that we don't have to see any such development in the future for Indian football. What's your thoughts on this development? Let us know in the comment section below, and for more such update on Indian football, stay tuned to Revsportz. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.